Games of the week options was Baker County St. Augustine. Third year in a row that they've opened against each other. This one down at St. Augustine. Packed house as always for the Jackets opener. Solid season a year ago. Everybody excited for this one against the Wildcats from Baker County. Here we go. Jackets start off quick. Kyle West to tailback Dexter Brown. Little wheel route out of the backfield. Flies down for the score. Yellowjackets up 7-0.
It's Austin Reed.
Baker County with the ball. Quarterback Noah Carter scrambles to his right. Can't find anything downfield. And watch defenseman Rylan Shugart running down for the sack. Baker County's forced to punt. Tigers with the ball again. Carter back to pass on third and forever. Slings it, but it's picked off by St. Augustine's Tyreek Russ, who runs it down the sideline into Wildcat territory. Yellowjacket ball, and no surprise that everybody is pretty pumped up there. Yellowjackets after the interception. West to Cedrin Daniel for the 10-yard strike. St. Augustine up 14-0, and that was enough. They want to win 31-14 to start off the year. Now 1-0. All right.
4-14. Another marquee matchup down in St. Johns County. Here come the Yellowjackets of St. Augustine, and they're taking on the Baker County Wildcats. Jackets love to fly, and it shows. Austin Reed to Dexter Brown, 50 yards. Player of the night nominee, 7-0 St. Augustine, and they play some defense. Quarterback, you better get rid of the ball, because when you don't, you will get sacked. Brings them down there, and the defense would spark the offense. The Jackets back in the air again. Reed hooking up with a man in the end zone, even with two defenders on him. Baker County loses at St. Augustine on final 31-14. Now to our...
Where are we headed? St. Augustine, that's Joey Wiles, of course, former coach, taking in this big game against Baker County. Austin Reed goes up top, the running back, Savoy Jefferson, scoots his way down the sideline, good looking pass. Austin Reed, 7-0 at the time, and St. Augustine beats Baker County 31-14. Good showing by the Yellowjackets on this opening night.
Menendez in the big St. Johns County matchup. At Menendez, St. Augustine the white, Menendez in the blue. Yellowjackets make the trek south to take on the Falcons. Falcons off a big win over Middleburg, by the way. First quarter, St. Augustine with the ball. Austin Reed to Dexter Brown, who takes it untouched. 25 yards, 6-0 St. Augustine. Falcons with the ball. First down, quarterback Darian Oxendine takes the snap, finds the crease, makes a cut to the outside, off, down the sideline. Finally gets taken out at the 5-yard line. He's got some speed and showed it there. Next play, Falcons lined up with the power I, and Kenny Logan takes it in for the 3-yard score. Falcons take the early lead, 7-6. Wouldn't last long, though. St. Augustine driving in the second quarter. Sharon Daniel over the middle for the nice game. Reed had all day to throw, and a nice job for the offensive line. A few plays later, Friquan Sparrow with the 3-yard touchdown. Yellowjackets roll from there, and they take this one 65-14.
Out on hand, Pedro Menendez tonight as they play host to the king of the county, the Yellowjackets of St. Augustine, opening possession. Dexter Brown, seeing green, player of the night nominee, 21-yard TD run, 6-0 Jackets, extra point, no good. Next up for the Falcons, they say anything you can do on the ground, we can do it better. Kenny Logan on the left side, dripping swag goo. 68 yards, he takes this one before he's brought down. That would set up a short TD run, giving Pedro Menendez the 7-6 lead, but too much from the Yellowjackets tonight. Raquan Sparrow beat him in the end zone. That's where it's going down. Jackets improved to 2-0. They won a final 65-14. Our game of
18 straight meetings, 18 straight wins for St. Augustine against Bartram Trail. The Bears have never beaten the Yellowjackets. It's not that the games haven't been close. Half the meetings have been one-possession games, including an overtime win by St. Augustine 2 years ago. Bartram Trail came close. 40-yard field goal, they'll fell just short at the buzzer. Would tonight be different? To Foots Brumley Stadium we go to see if the streak would end. St. Augustine against Bartram Trail, Yellowjackets owning this series, trying to make it 19 in a row. We picked this game up 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Game tied at 21. Bartram's Joey Gatewood buying time, looking downfield, hitting Griffin Helm against the sideline for the big game. 2 plays later, it's Gatewood giving it to Devin Ellison, who pounds his way for the 3-yard score. Bartram Trail on top now, 28-21 with 3:50 to go. Could this be it? St. Augustine with the ball. Austin Reed gets it out quick. Kareem Brown does the rest, making his man miss and going 55 yards, turning it on the Jets. Big play by the senior to tie the game at 28. St. Augustine would force the Bears to punt and get the ball back. Austin Reed, cool under pressure, hitting Kareem Brown again, this time on the crossing route. Clock is ticking, 15 seconds to go. A play later now, and again it's Reed over the middle to Brown again. This time he gets him into field goal range with 8 seconds to go. Elijah Ryan on now for the last second kick. No pressure or anything. Lines it up, and it is good. They mob the kicker as the Saints win at 31-28 in a classic that went down to the wire. 19 straight victories for St. Augustine. Creekside and
all those highlights. It is the biggest game in St. Johns County of the year, and that is Devon Ellison powering his way into the end zone. We're tied at 21. By the way, we're in the fourth quarter. Next possession, why not get it to Ellison one more time? You think you're going to be stopping this guy? You are dead wrong. Make reservations for 6. The Bears are up 28-21. The streak is coming to an end, right? But here come the Jackets. Austin Reed to Kareem Brown, who's seeing green, dripping, swagoo, player of the night, nominee. Oh, we're tied at 28. That would set up this Elijah Ryan from 37 yards out, and that field goal is G-O-O-D, good. 19 straight for the Jackets over the Bears as they won a final 31-28. All right.
At home versus St. Augustine taking them on the road in the white tops. Englewood in the all-black. Jackets 3-0. Rams 1-3. District 6A, District 4 matchup. All St. Augustine opening drive. Kareem Brown catches the slant, does the rest. Blockers downfield, 55 yards. He glides into the end zone for the TD. 7-0 Jackets. Next possession, St. Augustine is backed up to the 5, but Frequan Sparrow shows some patience and speed. He runs free. 45 yards to midfield before he's finally taken down. And 3 plays later, Austin Reed connects with Cedrin Daniel on the slant in the end zone. Extra point, no good, so St. Augustine only up 13-0. Still in the first, this time it's Dexter Brown up the middle. The senior running back gets in for the 3rd TD of the quarter. Jackets going to win easily. 52-0 was the final tonight over Englewood. Over at Balls, they were
Augustine at Englewood, the Yellowjackets rolling in this one, and believe me, don't believe me, just watch. Austin Reed my lips to Kareem Brown. Meet him in the end zone. That's where it's going down. St. Augustine will go on to win big, 52-0. Menendez.
Well, St. Augustine kept its remarkable streak over Bartram Trail last week. Now district play up first. Englewood first quarter. Yellowjackets strike first. Austin Reed, Kareem Brown had that big game last week. Well, he had another big one tonight. Got it going. St. Augustine wins 52-0. Don't mess with the all.
Welcome back to Football Friday on 4. As we mentioned, that St. Augustine Ponte Vedra game was going to be a big game when they were supposed to play 3 weeks ago. And now, obviously, it turns into a even bigger game. Both teams pointing toward the playoffs. Both teams know that this is the kind of competition they're going to have in the playoffs. Showdown of the 2 top teams, Sharks hosting the Yellowjackets. In the second half, St. Augustine up 21-0. Frequan Sparrow with the handoff, shoots the right, and he goes north-south, down to the 10, picks up 45-yard lines. A few plays later, he finishes it off, 5-yard TD. Yellowjackets led 27-0. Ponte Vedra with the ball. Jack Murrah drops back, can't find anybody open. Tries to throw it away, but watch, he finally gets taken down by Robert Zuzu, who gets the sack. Sharks could not move the ball against that St. Augustine defense all night long. After a punt by Ponte Vedra, the Jackets get the ball, and it's Brandon Johnson bowling over defenders, gets into the end zone for the score. St. Augustine dominates the Sharks tonight, 41-0. You wouldn't expect Ponte Vedra to get shut out, but they did tonight by the St. Augustine Yellowjackets. Don't forget the Football Friday on 4 app is all.
St. Augustine taking on Ponte Vedra, homecoming night for the Yellowjackets. For Ponte Vedra, the Yellowjackets are going to spoil it, however. First touchdown, St. Augustine is rolling. Kareem Brown with a tremendous grab over the middle. Ponte Vedra couldn't get much going, and who is it again? It is Mr. Brown. What can he do for you? He can score 6 points, not once, but twice. He has the sauce. St. Augustine wins 34-0.
All right, we're going out to
Well, at first it was off. Hurricane Irma preps causing the cancellation of an anticipated matchup between St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra after the two schools just couldn't find middle ground on when to play.
But after a couple weeks, the Jackets and Sharks were able to make it work, and we luck out with two of the better teams in St. Johns County squaring off. St. Augustine still undefeated. PV coming off a big district win over Bishop Kenny a week ago. Hello, homecoming. Probably not what the home crowd was looking for. This thing practically over at the half. Third quarter, and Fraquan Sparrow sings his way into the end zone. 27-0 Yellowjackets. Defense just as impressive. Sharks trying to get something going, but Robert Zuzu says no. Big stop in the backfield, very next play, and Darius Stanley is there with the sack. First teamers dominant on this night. One more time, the third quarter for the Jackets. This time it's Brandon Johnson finding pay dirt, and St. Aug gets a running clock. You know what they say down there in St. Johns County.
What do they say?
Don't mess with the young dog. Here's Stuart Weber and a victorious head coach.
Here with Coach Brian Braddock after a big win for you guys, big rivalry win. You got the kids here enjoying the celebration and having a good time. What did tonight tell you about your team against a really good Ponte Vedra squad?
Yeah, I was just really proud that it was an exciting game because we haven't played in a couple years, and they have a really good program, a really good team, and I was just really proud that our kids, you wouldn't have known it was any different than any other game. They just came out, they had a good week of practice, they approached the game with a workmanlike attitude and played pretty well, so I'm really proud of them.
Post-game speech, you made the point to your guys, 3 big district games coming up. Something like this can kind of prepare them for the challenges that await you guys.
Yeah, we go Ed White, Nice, and then Middleburg, so 3 district games, and as big as this win is tonight, if we don't go out and take care of business in the district schedule, it doesn't matter. So got to come back ready to work on Monday. And, a game like tonight really should give our kids more incentive to come back to work because they got to see a glimpse of what we can be.
The defense gets that shutout. I know that's hard to do in high school football, any level of football. How proud are you of them to see it through all the way?
Really proud. I thought tonight we were probably the most physical we've been all year, and was really pleased with that. We really wanted to get better fundamentally on defense. I'm excited to see on the film. I felt like we tackled better, did things better than we've been doing it, and really that's what matters. Our kids have been playing hard. We've just been kind of sloppy, so really proud of their effort. I mean, you get a shutout against a quality opponent. It's a big night.
All right, that is head coach Brian Braddock of the undefeated St. Augustine Yellowjackets. Let's go back to you guys.
All right, St. Augustine, one of the best teams around, traveling also around 295 to take on Ed White, the green and gold. Picked it up in the second quarter, 14-0 St. Augustine. Jackets 3rd and 10. The White 35. Fraquan Sparrow for 15. 2 plays later, Austin Reed to the end zone, and Karim Brown is there for the TD 21-0 Yellowjackets. Late in the second, 3rd and 10 for the Jackets. Reed to Brown goes up and gets it for 15 and the first down here. What a catch. And 2 plays later, Reed going for it all. Who's he find? Lionel Harris in the end zone. Looks like a drop, but the ref says touchdown. Jackets up 28-0. Late in the half, White trying to get on the board. Will Clark lets it fly, but watch Dondre Taylor with the interception. St. Augustine up 28-0 at half. They were on the win. 49-7 was the final. There are some very...
4, presented by the law firm of Farah & Farah.
All right, our play of the night is in that St. Augustine game. Watch Austin Reed, who might be headed to Southern Illinois, just run a linebacker over. Yes, he is stopped. Congratulations to the linebacker for standing there and still making the tackle, and to Reed for initiating that contact. Very nice, and that is our play of the night. All right, here we go.
Let's keep this train rolling. St. Augustine, Ed White, the Yellowjackets trying to remain perfect. And I can tell you this, they look G-O-O-D good on this night. Dexter Brown, seeing green, that is what I call high-definition television right into your living room. Touchdown, St. Augustine. And the Jackets will go on to win this one, folks, and remain perfect, 49-7. Trinity Christian.
Hey, let's go to St. Johns County, where St. Augustine plays at Nice tonight. Nice matchup. Not too far up and down Route 1 there. St. Augustine playing at Nice, St. Augustine in the White. Longest running rivalry in St. Johns County. Undefeated Yellowjackets. Nice Panthers are there. Early first quarter, Nice with the ball. Preston Staples back to pass. Wobbly throw over the middle. Gets picked off by Josh Peterson. Returns at 15 yards, and the Yellowjackets are in business. They wouldn't wait long to capitalize. Why not throw a flea flicker to start? And they do just that. Austin Reed hits Cedric Daniel down the middle of the field and does the rest. makes a few people miss on his way for the score. 7-0 Yellowjackets on top. Nice claws right back at it, though. After a blocked punt, it's Jareem Westcott taking the carry, dips and dodges his way through the defense for an 8-yard score. Nice on top, and 7, I'm sure the Jackets were kind of surprised. St. Augustine comes right back. Reed takes the snap, looks for his man, Kareem Brown, who catches it wide open for the TD. That makes it 14-10, and the Yellowjackets going to win a contested game. 35-23 is the final. All right, over to Bartram Trail.
Augustine at Nice, the oldest rivalry in St. Johns County, takes center stage again tonight as the Yellowjackets look to win the district and remain unbeaten. Fast start for the Jackets. Joshua Peterson says, "Give me that." INT taking it the other way. That lead to a score to make it 7-0. St. Aug. Nice wouldn't roll over those second quarter. 7-3. It's Jareem Westcott. And the Panthers are now in front 10-7. Now we move to St. Augustine's next possession. I know you heard this name a time or two this season. Austin Reed, big things popping. Kareem Brown, little things completely stopping. That's a touchdown, my friend. And guess what? St. Augustine, 4-6-8 district champs. They move to 7-0 with a 35-23 win. Baker County.
Last week or two, we've been talking about a couple things. We've been talking about opportunity, and we've been talking about the respect we demonstrate for the game. I'm trying to get across to you the ways that might not seem obvious that we respect the game. There's always opportunity when we play. It doesn't matter if we're in a gravel parking lot, it is equal. There's always an opportunity when we play. When you put this jersey on, and it says St. Augustine. When you put that gold helmet on, and it says Jackets. That is opportunity. So tonight, it's not a gravel lot. It's sure an equal. Tonight's an opportunity to pursue a district championship. You know, I don't like the word win. I would say win is to earn a district championship. And we respect that. We have respect for everybody we play. We always respect the opponent, but by God, we have to do the opponent. The only thing we fear is that we forget about that respect. And we stop preparing with the right amount of respect for the game and for our opponent. And we cut ourselves short. We cheapen our experience. That's what I do. Tonight is the opportunity. And up to this point this year is the biggest one. Talk about a t-shirt game. We talk about winning championships. Is a district championship a big deal? Is a district championship a big deal? Yes, sir. Yes, big deal. Jacks on three, Jacks on three. 1, 2, 3, Jackets!
St. Augustine is living in the game!
At St. Augustine, the Yellowjackets looking to remain perfect. And let me tell you this, it was all St. Augustine on this night. DJ Johnson to Desmond Smith, who's dripping swagoo. 7-0 Yellowjackets. They were just getting the party started right. They got this party started quickly. Devon Taylor, where is he? Here he is, high definition television. The Yellowjackets remain perfect. They won 38-0. Bold and
a participant in the playoffs, and that's for sure. The St. Augustine Yellowjackets are headed to the playoffs. This is the play that sets up Austin Reed, and in this particular play, let's see what happens. It's a bunch of turnovers. It's a Palatka fumble early on, and then here we go, a little handoff, a little run around the side, not a problem at all. as Dexter Brown continues to go. Here's Reed throwing the football as he's one of those guys that is headed to play in college. And by the way, you'll see him as one of our five-star scholar athletes of the week. Quite an impressive young guy. Yellowjackets with a big win tonight. Cameron Edwards with a touchdown. St. Augustine wins big in this one. Final score in this game, 42-7.
A great win tonight, really proud of the kids. Historic rivalry with Palatka. Have a lot of respect for Palatka, and their kids played very hard tonight. I just told their coach I was really impressed with they've had a tough couple weeks. I was really impressed with his older kids, how hard they played, and the example they set for their younger kids. But a big win for us, and excited now to go into the playoffs next week. We'll do the math tonight after the games and the Panhandle wrap up, and then we should have a pretty good idea of who we'll be playing. And I'm sure whoever that team is will be anxious to trade film as soon as we possibly can. So we'll try to start getting ready.
One thing St. Augustine knows is that they'll probably be playing at home, winning the district. You get an opportunity to play at home no matter how many points you have. And that's why so many games were important tonight as teams were trying. Brian Jackson joins us here live. I said to Brian, we were at St. Augustine this afternoon, I said, now make sure you walk down to the other end of the stadium. And at one point I said, hey, turn around. The place looks like it's on fire. Right. They're cooking so much down there. It's unbelievable. Great hospitality at St. Augustine. And, the second oldest rivalry is 98th playing, 1922. And, this is a rivalry. If you don't know, Carolinas, before it was called St. Augustine, is what the school was called. It was the only school in St. Johns County. Right. And then, of course, Palatka was the only school in Putnam County. Right.
And then, when I got to practice yesterday, I was talking to Coach Braddock about, because everybody kind of expected them to beat Palatka. And I said, how do you keep your kids in check? And he said that it's really because of all of his assistant coaches. And then he was saying, you know what? A lot of these guys actually played here. And then it was like another coach and another coach. So by the time we looked at it, about out of maybe 11 of his assistants, at least 8 or 9 of them actually played for the Yellowjackets.
There may be 2 or 3 schools that consider St. Augustine their biggest rival. But when it comes to mutual respect and physicality, Palatka tops the list.
So it's special. I got to play in a game here in high school when we had lost 10 years in a row, and we finally broke that streak. And that was a really big deal, and it means a lot. A lot of us owe so much to Coach Wiles and what he kind of built over his 20 years here, and we feel like we need to do everything we can to nurture that and take it forward.
It's one thing to have a coach give a player advice on how they should handle a certain situation, or in this case, a rivalry game. At St. Augustine, their staff has a little bit of built-in credibility because over half of them played for the Yellowjackets.
They come back to all of us like, we watched your highlight tape, like, you guys were good, and they just go back and they respect you because they know what kind of player you were.
You learn from people before you, and that's kind of how this system works. It's more of you do your time, you leave, you give back, and it repeats.
Let's go, man!
It's a passing down of everything you've learned.
It's a bond, pretty much like from top to bottom, that guys, like I said, they play here, and they always want to see the program be successful. They don't want the program to fall off, they want the program to keep going. Because, like myself, I've been around the school for a long time. Like my mom taught 35 years. Sister was a cheerleader and stuff like that back then. So we've seen what the program was. And like I said, we want to always keep moving forward and not let the program basically fall off. And just, like I said, just build that foundation to keep going.
Now, I've talked with a lot of coaches over the past couple of months about this whole playoff system and the points. And some coaches are very open with it about their players. But Coach Braddock says they haven't discussed it any time at all.
And they're
not worried about it.
They'll play at home next week, but they'll find out Sunday. I have been here a while, and I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm pretty sure I remember when Willie Stroman played for them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he said he graduated in 98.
I definitely remember, yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks, Brian, appreciate it. I really like Mom's Corner tonight. It's a tradition that was started in 1987 when former coaches Wendell McGraw and Jim McCool got together. They decided that from then on, Palatka and St. Augustine every year would honor the senior football players together pre-game from both schools, cheerleaders, seniors. We caught up with 3 of those moms tonight for tonight's Mom's Corner.
And he was...
These past 4 years have flown by. I am so proud of Avery and the cheerleaders and all they have accomplished this year. We got a new coach, Coach Bree, and she is awesome, and it's just been a fantastic year. Such an accomplishment to get a child all the way through
as long as they've played to be honored at the same night. Usually it's one team or the other.
I'm so glad that's over. I don't even know if I'm really processing it right now. I think later on it'll kind of hit me, but I'm so proud. I love the whole team. I love being part of the boosters. What I'm probably miss is the pregame meals because they're so much fun to be around the boys and get all the hugs afterwards and thanks and stuff. So I'm gonna miss that a lot too.
Mom's Corner. One more week of that, which is just a great. All right, on to our star of the night. Tonight's game of the week, star of the night, is St. Augustine quarterback Austin Reed. 8 of 11, 117 yards, 3 touchdowns, puts him over 2,000 this year. By the way, Reed has thrown 28 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions. As I mentioned, you'll see Austin Reed is one of our VyStar Scholar Athletes of the Week coming up. He will be playing football in college next year. He hasn't quite decided. He told me a couple places that he's headed, he's going to think about, but good luck to him, and he is our star of the night. All right, on to
the action. We go to St. Johns County, Palatka, St. Augustine, the oldest rivalry in the Sunshine State. The Yellowjackets, after their 9th perfect regular season, Jackets defense set the tone. Getting some cough medicine because the guy from Palatka just coughed that one up. St. Augustine recovered. They go to work. Austin Reed, my lips. To Michael Early, who's never late, takes that one in for 7. Yellowjackets are buzzing. Next possession, Reed again. This time, he's going to go to his main man, Kareem Brown. Made that guy miss. We call this high-definition television. He's putting on for his city 14-0 Jackets. Jackets roll 10-0, beating Palatka 42-7. Orange.
That was cool to be a part of, because especially because it was at Bromley for our senior night. So I just love playing here and love that we get to play a couple more games here this season. But just the fact that we got to play in front of all of our fans and the oldest rivalry, and just a bunch of alumni who come here just to this game once a year, to be able to show up for all of them and just show that St. Augustine's still the school and just the dominant school, and just to be able to make them proud was really cool. It was really cool, considering how many good teams there have been here at St. Augustine. To be able to be on one of only 9 teams that went undefeated in the regular season was really impressive. And for us, I just think our offense was really good this year. Our defense was insane. I think defense is the main reason our offense was so good, because we were able to be on the field so much. And it was just awesome. My goal coming in the season, and a lot of people don't like to set such high expectations, I wanted to go undefeated, and I thought that was the main goal, get through the regular season undefeated, and then we focus on the playoffs. And to be able to be a part of an undefeated team and be able to accomplish that goal is the first goal of many we're trying to accomplish this year.
Playoffs start tomorrow night. The top-ranked team in the state of Florida in Class 6A is St. Augustine. The Yellowjackets undefeated and will host the game tomorrow night. Let's go down to St. Augustine right now. Action Sports Jack Stuart Weber is live. An annual tradition happening with the burning of the shoes tonight, Stuart.
Yeah, Brent, tonight a little high school soccer going on behind me, but come tomorrow night, the stands are going to be packed. The fans are all going to come out, and they're going to check out the Yellowjackets in action against Tate. As happens every year, the night before the playoffs start, the team gets together and shares some memories.
We got to try to reach one goal, no matter what background we got. So I'm saying, I love y'all boys, go ahead and get this dub against Tate.
Sometimes emotional, sometimes funny, but always a good time, especially for the head coach, Brian Braddock. Used to play here and has been a part of it since the beginning.
I got to be a part of it as a player back the first time we did it, and when Coach started it, and it's always awesome. You never know what you're going to get when the seniors get up and share and talk to the coaches and teammates, and it's always a special night.
Of course, Brent, we will have a lot more from the burning of the shoes tomorrow on the Friday Night Blitz. For now, live at St. Augustine High School, Stuart Weber, Action Sports Jacks.
All right, 10:30. This time of year is nothing new for the Yellowjackets in St. Augustine. They've won their District 16 of the last 18 years. And they have one of the longest playoff streaks in the area. They have not gotten past the regional finals, though, since 2010. How about that? That's something that is kind of surprising. They're the only undefeated team in the area. Tonight, Tate came in from the Panhandle, and they are 6-3. So St. Augustine, the #1 seed, taking on the 6th seed, Tate. Yellowjackets coming in undefeated. Players pretty amped up and ready to go. Early in the first quarter, Tate ball, quarterback with the snap at the fake, looks to pass. But what do you say? The defense just swarms him for the sack. Yellowjackets get the ball. Austin Reed hands it to Dexter Brown, shoots the middle to the right, makes a man miss, gets down the sideline, 35-yard run, and the Jackets are in business. 2 plays later, Reed hands it to Frequan Sparrow, who breaks out of the stiff arm and welts it in the end zone. 7-0 St. Augustine on top. Tate gets the ball, and watch the pitch to Ladero Page, who gets blasted by Jerry and Ramos. Jackets obviously thinking they wanted to play tonight. And they get the ball back. Dexter Brown with the ball again. This time he won't be caught. Pulls away from the defense. 65-yard run. Why? Because he is a very fast man. Jackets pull away from Tate. St. Augustine wins big. 49-14 was the fun. Very fast man. That makes me thirsty here. So.
At St. Augustine tonight in the nation's oldest city, as the area's only undefeated, the St. Augustine Yellowjackets look to sting Tate tonight. Jackets off to a good start. Second possession, that is Frequan Sparrow, and he's just high-stepping it into the end zone. 7-0 Jackets. The defense came to play. They tell me this is a hit of the night nominee, Jerry and Rummels, with the boom shakalaka. That kind of defense would set up this. Some good offense. Player of the Week nominee, Dexter Brown, seeing green, 67 yards to the house. Holla! And St. Augustine rolls. They're going to beat Tate 49-14 up on the north side. Jack.
Another 1 seed in their region, St. Augustine, our only 6A club to make the playoffs. Hosting Tate, Dexter Brown takes the handoff, blasts up the right side for a huge gainer. Looks like he's going to run by everyone, but he doesn't get pushed out of bounds. Frequan Sparrow finishes it up. That's a 6-yard run. Boy, St. Augustine looks good. They have a lot of talent. Then Brown, he goes up the middle through traffic, and this time he does outrun everybody. Touchdown, St. Augustine. The Yellowjackets, the #1 team in the state in 6A. They win, and they win big, 49-14. So St. Augustine will next up host Navarre. So once again, a home game down there in St. Johns County for the Yellowjackets, still undefeated here in this season. Bartram Trail season is an amazing accomplishment. Only one local team able to pull it off this year, the St. Augustine Yellowjackets, and they remained undefeated tonight.
And Brett, while the memories made on the field are huge, sometimes it's the ones off the field that kind of stick with you a little longer.
Yeah, that includes a yearly tradition that continues under Coach Brian Braddock.
What I want you to understand is that it is symbolic. The point of burning the shoes is that your footsteps here at St. Augustine High School can never be repeated, can never be replaced.
I'm going to miss playing with everybody because I know back in January when my dad passed away, like everybody just came together and just put like a bubble around me. When I got diagnosed with my heart injury, like it's kind of like Tommy said, like I just felt loved by everybody.
Been like the best 4 years of my life probably, so I just thank y'all for that.
I never hated going to practice because it was my only time. I didn't have to focus on my life.
I mean, it's been weird the fact that I didn't start till a senior, but like, I haven't really been upset about it because like for me it was always I want to play for St. Augustine.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss y'all boys. Y'all really made it feel like home.
We gotta try to reach one goal, no matter what background we got. So I'm saying I love y'all boys and go ahead and get this dub against team.
Guys, I hope tomorrow you come out to play. Not even contemplate the thought of allowing this to come to an end, because we got to be back together on Monday.
Really one of the coolest things you'll ever see in high school. It's a pretty neat, emotional day down there for St. Augustine. Well, we're showing you most of the
St. Johns County. The St. Augustine Yellowjackets trying to remain perfect, taking on Navarre. We're going to pick this one up mid-second quarter. Jackets are already up by 14. And oh, did Dexter Brown have a night weaving in and out of traffic like he's on I-95. Play of the week nominee, 93 yards to pay dirt. Jackets would take a 28-14 lead into the half. I said Brown had a career night. Don't believe me, my friends. Just watch. The third of 4 rushing touchdowns for this young man is going to come soon. Oh, they say he also caught one. There he is, doing his thing. Mr. Brown, oh my goodness. All he did was gain 360 yards with his 19 carries. Second half now, St. Augustine with the first possession of the second half. They picked up where they left off. Yes, that was Augustine to Kareem Brown. Shot sheet here, quite confusing. Bottom line is the Yellowjackets won a final 52-21.
Now, Action Sports Jack's Friday Night Blitz, presented by Subway Restaurants.
This is our shot! Tonight, with each other! Make the most of your opportunity. Make the most of your opportunity. You will it into existence that we're back together on Monday. Make the most of it. Make the most of it. We learned from the past. We are fortunate for our past, but we need to make some history tonight. Let's go.
Brian Braddock keeps coming up with speeches. You know why? Because they're the only undefeated team in the area, hoping to keep that going tonight against Navarre in round 2 of the playoffs. Braddock getting his Yellowjackets ready to play. I think they think about that stuff all week.
I'm ready to play.
You better believe they do. Here in the Action Sports Jack studios, we are ready to play and bring you a full half hour of the Friday Night Blitz, our final full edition of the season.
Say it isn't so, and what a year it's been, Brett. So many great games, terrific plays, amazing stories. The only question left, who will lift those trophies at season's end? Some big storylines to follow from tonight and round 2 of the postseason. Old rivals meeting again at University Christian.
And it's tough to contain the excitement in Callahan these days. How will they fare at the graveyard tonight? Not an easy task. Trinity Christian coming off that thrilling triple overtime win over Bowles, now forced to hit the road to Tallahassee.
And can anyone stop the Bartram Trail offense? A familiar face coaching on the opposite sideline. It's all coming up. But let's start at Wild Slater Field.
Right invert check, 47 feet up.
Oh, 101, great.
No road trip out west for St. Augustine this year, hosting Navarre and driving right down the field to start. Austin Reed finding Kareem Brown. How many times have we said that this year? From there it was Dexter Brown who would take over. Still first quarter. Brown breaks free of the crowd. He goes 80 to pay dirt for the Jackets.
Said his name a lot too.
Yeah, Raiders would get back within 7 right before the end of the first quarter, but Brown answers on the very next play. Another 80-yard scamper.
Hope you had him in your fantasy league.
For St. Aug. Navarre appears to have an answer of its own, getting inside the 10 before they cough it up.
Was that Tim Tebow at quarterback?
Oh, no, he didn't. Jackets recover on the 7. One guess who they handed to on the next play. Dexter Brown, 3 carries alone, 253 yards in a quarter and a half. What a game for Brown and the O-line. 28-14 at the half, but in the third quarter, the Jackets take command. Reed to Kareem Brown again, and watch as he just tosses aside his defender. My goodness, and takes off for another score. Wow!
Watch out, Wild Slater Field. They might name it Brown and Brown next year.
Brown and Brown. What does Brown do for you? Then Dante Wright gets his name in the ledger with this touchdown catch. Even with the PI he caught at St. Aug. Cruising into the next round. Don't mess with the Aug dog! 52-21. Here's Stuart Weber.
Here with Coach Brian Braddock, and a great offensive performance by your boys tonight. They go out there and they put up a big number, 52, against a really good Navarre team.
Yeah, I don't think I would have predicted that. It's a team that's really physical, plays really hard. They have a great program. And to get a big win over a program of that quality that's won as many playoff games as they have over the last 5-6 years, it's a big accomplishment. So I'm really proud of our team.
Tell me about Dexter's performance, because The numbers are mind-blowing. I know there was 3 touchdowns for over 250 yards just to start, and then he kept going after that.
Yeah, no, I mean, Dexter is just continues to grow leaps and bounds. He's learning how to run hard, how to finish runs, how to break tackles, and his best days are still ahead of him, and really thrilled for him.
I know every speech this time of year, you almost always end it with, make sure we're here on Monday. You're able to do that again because you're playing at home next week. How big is it for them to get that extra week once again?
You know, if you make it to Thanksgiving in high school football, it's kind of equivalent to getting to the playoff in college football. So it's a huge accomplishment. I guess we're not to the semifinal yet, but you get my point. It's a big deal. So I'm thrilled for these kids that we're going to get another week of Thanksgiving and another Thanksgiving practice. But we're going to try to push it further than we did last year. And just thrilled we get to work together again next year. Work together again next week and hopefully go out and get another one.
All right, that's Coach Braddock. Let's send it back to you guys.
All right, St. Augustine will host the winner of Escambia and Crestview in the state quarterfinals. That game being played out in the Panhandle. Escambia leading 27-23 in the third quarter. But again, St. Augustine will host that game. Let's stay in.
Meanwhile, Crestview in the all-white taking on undefeated St. Augustine wearing the burgundy. Battle of undefeated teams in Class 6A. Crestview making the trip over to St. Aug. First drive for the Bulldogs going for it on 4th and 5. Rod Bouchard hits Milton Bouchard in the flat, and it's enough for a first down. Led to a Crestview field goal. They're up 3-0. Yellowjackets march right back. Dexter Brown caps off the drive with the short touchdown run. Yellowjackets up 7-3. Crestview wasting no time. On the very next play from scrimmage, Bouchard finds Devin Voisin in the slant, and he has gone 80 yards to the house. Crestview retakes the lead 10-7. Not a lot of defense early on in this one. Frequan Sparrow gives the lead back to St. Augustine with his first touchdown run of the night. 14-10. He is fired up. Yellowjackets up by 4. When St. Augustine got the ball back, they only needed one play to score. Austin Reed has a wide open Kareem Brown. It's another easy touchdown for the Yellowjackets. They lead it to 28-10 at the half and went on to win it 49-28. They move on. Play.
St. Augustine hosting Crestview down in St. Johns County. The Yellowjackets trying to remain perfect. First drive of the game for the Yellowjackets. They're up 3-0. 4th and goal for Dexter Brown, who had a big game last week. It looks like he's going to have another one tonight. Make reservations for 6. That made it 7-3 Yellowjackets. Partly were down 3 at the start of that play with Crestview. Would answer right back. Hunter Nichols over the middle. Pop, locks, and drops this one into high gear. 75 yards to the house. Bulldogs back in front 10-7. That will be the extent of the highlights for Crestview. Next possession for the unbeaten St. Augustine Yellowjackets. Frequan Sparrow powering his way into the end zone there. That made it 14-10. Later in that second quarter, St. Augustine now up 21-10. Ball deep into Crestview territory. That's Mr. Daniel on the left side. High definition television. That made it 28-10 Yellowjackets. And Augustine will go on to win 49-28. They're in the state 6A semifinals next week. They will face either Armwood or Vanguard.
It's going down in St. Augustine. Who's leaving with a loss? Crestview or St. Aug? Yellowjackets find out early on that they're able to run the ball on Crestview. Dexter Brown gives them a 7-3 lead on a 4th down touchdown run inside the 5. Coach Braddock going for it. How about Rod Bouchard to Devin Voisin on a slant, 50 yards after catch. Bulldogs back on top. But Frequan Sparrow gets in on the action himself. Short touchdown for the Jackets, who dominate 49-28. They will go to Seffner Armwood for semis. Final spot in Orlando. St. Augustine visiting Seffner Armwood, a battle of the unbeatens, but not a great start for the Jackets. Armwood drives right down the field and they score first when Devin Black hits Wayne Dennis for the score. St. Aug's defense did its best to hold down the Hawks. Darius Stanley gets in the backfield for the sack, but it was tough sledding all night. The undefeated season comes to an end 30-6. Baker County trying